code at the moment is starting to get a little bit messy. We've got quite a lot of numbers in here. So what we're going to do is start to make this a little bit nicer. So still within our for loop, what we're going to do is start to add some more detail to this. So the first thing we're going to do is just quickly add a comment. So this is 2 forward slashes, and let's add our kind of source info. So the source info that we've got, we're going to say a constant called SX. And the reason for SX is just because where this starts. At the moment, this source on our kind of A starts at 0, and our constant for SY, again, I'm making these up, is 0 as well, based on these two things. And we want a constant for SW. How wide is this? Source image, well, we want it to be 600, and SY is 600 as well. So these are the kind of numbers from here. Oh, sorry, that's SH instead, sorry. So we're just going to quickly change this in. So SX, SY, SW, SH, just to make this a little bit easier to read. So now what I can see is my source image, which is basically this graphic, is going to be at 0, 0, and 600 by 600, the whole thing. So now what we should see is exactly the same thing as what we had previously. We're going to do something for the destination too. So I'm going to do a comment for the destination. Where does this land on our page, on our canvas? So here we're going to do something very similar. We're going to do dx, which is going to be, well, not 0. We actually want it to be this first thing, x times tile size. So I'm just going to copy that, and I'm going to do dy, which is the destination one, which is the second or third one in here. I'm going to do constant dw, which is the destination width, which is tile size, and the destination height is also the tile size too. So I'm just going to take this one and insert dx. I'm going to take this bit and insert dy. I'm going to take this tile size and replace it with dw, and this tile size here for dh. Just basically kind of copying what is going on here. So dx, dy, could be called d width and d height, it's up to you. I'm going to keep it quite short on purpose. So what we should see here is just a cleanup of the code. So what we should see, something that looks like this. Now what we want is to basically redraw this A, not as 12 by 12, but in basically different tiles. So here we've got quite a few different tiles. I think we've got 6 by 6 instead. So how do we redraw this A without this movement? Well, basically what I want to do is take the sample of one bit and just map it to exactly the same part of this image. So the same thing from the graphic onto the canvas. At the moment, we're not taking the same thing because this is taking the whole bit and resizing it to that. But if I just move these things up here, what we should see is basically a recreation. We're taking a sample and putting it in the same place and same width and same height every single time. And to do that, we're just going to take dw, so dx, and put that here, dy, and put that here, and the tile size is here, and the tile size is here. So our source matches our destination, which basically means that even though we've got 12 by 12 and the tile size of 50, each one is being recreated every single time. So now what we should see on the page is just this A back again. It's 12 by 12, but we can't see any difference because there isn't any movement on this page. So the reason for that is we haven't got any movement or any kind of source or destination as part of this. Now, if I start messing with some of this stuff, for instance, you'll start to see some of these changes. So for instance, just as a quick little trial, what we're going to do is just add some to the width, maybe something like 40, I don't know, let's see how that looks. And what we should see now is this start to break up, because what we're doing is taking a sample that's wider than the width and actually squeezing it down instead. So this is actually 40 pixels shorter than our final one. So this is kind of recreating the image, and we're starting to break things up a little bit more now. I can do the same thing here as well on the height. We start to play around this a little bit more. So just by adding some different kind of values in this starts to break up the text very, very quickly. So this is kind of what is happening here. We're actually moving different things around the page. So I've got some height that's changed, maybe some width that's changed, maybe the source start position has changed as well. So this is kind of how we break it up. If we don't have any difference between the two, so this is exactly the same as this, it will recreate the original image. So next what we're going to do is start to play around with this text even more, but this is kind of setting everything up ready to go to basically mess around with it.